Donald Barnes. I had a lot of requests or a lot of questions about what was spider rigging and how do you do it. Okay, the equipment, first thing, if you're on spider rig, of course you're going to need a boat. This boat I'm fishing out is an express boat. It's a 20-footer. Normal two-person don't need a 20-foot boat. What I would try to do is get a wide boat where you can set up 2 seats on the front. If you and your buddy's going to be fishing. If you're by yourself, you'll be sitting in the center of the boat like I'm doing. This boat in the front, to give you an idea of the width of it across, but the whole width across here is 78 inches. I've got my 2 seats mounted 34 inches apart. That gives you plenty of room to turn around. You won't be bumping each other's knees and all that. I'm not saying you can't fish with smaller than that, but if you're more comfortable, you're going to enjoy yourself. Pole holders right here and right here are Driftmaster pole holders. They're very adjustable. You can move them around in any position, whichever position you need to get them in, to line them up and get your proper angle of your poles. Each one of these pole holder attachments right here handles 4 poles. It's set up to fish 2 people off the front of the boat. I've got my pole holder set up where this pole holder is setting at to the tip of the boat is 3 foot. And you want to keep as much pole out in front of your boat as possible, especially if you're going to do spider rigging in shallow water. If you're much of a crappie fisher, you know the shallower you get, crappie's easy to spook and you're going to scare them. These poles we're using are B&M poles. These particular ones are William Richards signature poles. The 10-foot poles. Very good multiple use pole. What I like about them. B&M does, let me watch my grammar here a little bit, make a 12-foot pole and a 14-foot pole if you need to get your poles further away from the boat. Right now, I've probably got my poles about 7 foot in front of the boat. These pole holders are 3 foot from where the poles are at to the tip of the boat. You need around 7 foot out there so you will not scare the fish off. You're going to be fishing shallow water. When I say shallow water, I'm talking about less than 7 foot of water and it's clear. You might want to go to a 12-foot pole. The only thing about when you start getting a longer pole, they get a little bit uncomfortable on handling them, getting the fish in. That's up to you and what you can do and can't do. I want to get into a little bit of how I'm rigging my poles. I use a small spinning reel. These are Mitchell's. It's other brands out there. That's just the type I use. The size of the line I'm using on these are 6 pound. I usually don't fish no smaller than 4. I don't use no larger than 8. But what I've got on this pole is 6 pound. End of the line, I keep it pretty simple. Bottom of my line, I've got a jig right here, and approximately 18 inches or so up from it, I got a 1/4 ounce weight. This jig right here is a 3/32 weight. And that's all I do. The only other thing I add Sometimes I fish with a hook and a minnow. I usually use a fish attractor, and these are Breckley's power baits. They call crappie nibbles. Colors I like is chartreuse and yellow. Seem like I have the best luck at. Basically, that's the setup of my poles. Next thing, you're going to have a good GPS and depth finder, so you can see where you're fishing at. And the GPS, more than anything else up here on the front, is telling me the speed I'm traveling as I'm spider rigging. Of course, you've got to have a trolling motor to move you along. The depth finder's here in front of me. You probably can't see the amount of speed we're traveling, but this is a dual unit. It's a depth finder and GPS combination. Right now we're not moving none whatsoever according to my speed on my GPS. The screen on the right side is my depth finder, so I can see when I'm going over some kind of structure or the depth I'm traveling. Okay, we've talked about the equipment. What we're going to get into now is the presentation of the baits and a little bit of what we're trying to do and how we're presenting the baits to the fish. I like to keep my poles around 6 inches to 12. Let me back up and not say 12. About anywhere from 5 inches to 10 inches off the water. The closer you can keep it to the water, the less problem you've got of tangling up with the other pole. I start out, if I'm never out and been on the lake for a while, I set my pole, the lines that I'm putting in the water at different depths. You need to remember one thing: crappie look up, so you want to keep the bait above them. But sometimes crappie are expended off the bottom, so they won't be right on the bottom. If you get that bait down below them, you won't never get the bite that you should. I do various different colors if I hadn't been out till I find the color that the fish like. Speed as you're traveling while you're trying to catch a fish, you want to pretty well keep your lines straight up and down. You don't want them on an angle back towards the boat. If it start getting on an angle back towards the boat, that means you're throwing your bait in under the boat, and you won't never catch a fish that way to do any good. At no time, right now I'm running 0.2 of a mile an hour. At the most, it is about 0.5 of a mile an hour. Nothing any more than that, because if you start getting past that 0.5, you're going to start putting your line back under your boat. It's getting late in the evening, and we're losing daylight here. I hope this will help you some. If you have any, once again, if you have any questions, feel free to call me, email me, and I will try to explain to you in an email or on the telephone if something you don't understand.